What happens when the dead dance with the living? Have you ever thought, what if the spirit of the dead could dance among us? Would they share their secrets or cause chaos? Believe it or not, dead spirits can actually influence on our lives in ways we would never imagine. Today, we are diving into yet another fascinating concept of the living interacting with the spirit of the dead through dance. It's a theme that has captured the imagination of cultures all around the globe. From ancient rituals to modern day celebrations, is the idea of spirits dancing among us, both thrilling and chilling. So, grab your popcorn and a very chilled drink and let's explore together what happens when the dead join the living on the dance floor. Long ago, in a small village called Kumasi, the elders told tales of a secret festival known only to a few. The villagers whispered in fear of the festival of shadows, a night when the dead would rise to dance with the living. It was a rare, sacred night that only happened every once in 20 years. During the full moon that aligned with the harvest season, they warned everyone never to attend the festival unless summoned by the spirits themselves, because those who entered uninvited would never leave the same. But this year, something strange was happening. Children born during the previous festival began to have dreams of shadowy figures calling them to the forest. Some saw dead ancestors in their sleep, beckoning them to join the dance. The elders grew uneasy. It was believed that the spirit only summoned adults, and this shift in the pattern meant the spirit world was hungry for something. And they all gathered and wondered, what is happening? Why had the spirits calling on our children? Something is wrong. In the heart of Kumasi lived a very beautiful girl called Adunni, a 15-year-old girl known for her beauty, kindness, and curiosity. She had always heard the story of the Festival of Shadows, but she thought it was just one of her grandmother's tales to tell to scare children away. Adunni loved helping her parents to the farm, but she felt like something was missing in her life, like the wind carried secrets she couldn't understand. One night, Adunni had a strange dream. She found herself in a forest filled with glowing fireflies, and at the center of the clearing was a large glowing drum. Around the drum, shadowy figures danced silently. They looked neither alive nor dead, but their movements carried a haunting grace. Suddenly, one of the dancers stepped and looked directly at her. It was her grandfather who had died years ago. "Come, my child. Come, Adunni." The shadow of her grandfather whispered. "The spirits wait for you. Do not keep them waiting." Adunni woke up, gasping, her heart racing. This wasn't just a dream. It felt like a calling. Oh my God, I need to do something. The next day, Adunni went to the village square, where the elders sat beneath the sacred baobab tree. She told them about her dream. The elders exchanged uneasy glances. What could be happening? What is it? Why? The spirit only calls adults. Why are they reaching out to the kids now? Why are they reaching out to children? Something is wrong. Then one of the elders said, "Do not follow the spirit, my child," said Elder Yaro, the oldest and wisest among them. "The festival of shadows is not for the living. If you go, you may never return, my child." But Adunni's curiosity burned brighter than their warnings. She knew her dream meant something important. That night, she decided to follow the dream's path into the forest. As the full moon rised in the sky, Adunni wrapped herself in a shawl and slipped away from her parents' hut. She walked deep into the forest, guided by the sound of distant drums. The trees seemed to sway, whispering secrets in languages she couldn't understand. The air grew colder and the night became quiet, as if even the insects were afraid to make a sound. After walking for what felt like hours, Adunni reached a clearing. In the center was a circle of dancers, spirit cloaked in shadows, their feet barely touching the ground. Their movements were slow and rhythmic, matching the beat of the large drum at the center. Adunni felt a strange pull, like an invisible hand drawing her closer. Among the dancers was her godfather, just as she had seen in her dream. "Adunni, my child," he whispered, extending a hand. "Come dance with us, my child." Before she could think twice, Adunni stepped into the circle. As soon as her feet touched the ground inside the circle, something strange happened. Her body felt breathless, like she was no longer fully part of the world she knew. The spirits danced with her, swirling around her like smoke in the wind. She saw other spirits too, ancestors, old friends, and strangers who had long been forgotten. At first, it was mesmerizing, but soon Adunni noticed the change. The spirits began to dance faster, their faces twisting into unsettling grins. Their laughter echoed through the forest, but it no longer sounded joyful. It was cold and mocking. The ground beneath her feet shifted, and the air became thick with the scent of decaying leaves. Suddenly, the shadows grew taller, and Adunni realized the terrible truth. The spirits were not just dancing with her, they were binding her to their world. Back in the village, strange things began to happen. People who had died years ago were seen walking through the streets. Their faces expressionless. Children whispered that they saw shadowy figures peeking through windows at night. The elders knew the boundary between the living and the dead had been broken. Someone had danced in the festival of shadows without permission. Adunni's parents grew worried when they realized she was missing. They went to the elders, who performed a divination ceremony. The bones revealed the truth. Adunni was trapped in the world of shadows, and unless something was done, the spirit would claim her forever, and more of the living would follow. The only way to save Adunni was for someone from the living world to enter the festival and bring her back before dawn. But there was a catch. If they failed, both the rescuer and Adunni would be trapped in the spirit world forever. Adunni's best friend, Bola, volunteered to go. She was afraid, but she couldn't leave Adunni behind. The elders gave Bola a charm made from the feathers of a sacred hoe, warning her to use it wisely. It was the only thing that could protect her from the spirits. Bola entered into the forest, following the same path Adunni had taken. When she reached the clearing, she saw Adunni dancing among the shadows. Her eyes glazed over like she was in a trance. "Adunni! Adunni! Adunni!" Bola shouted, but her friend didn't respond. The spirit turned towards Bola. Their faces stretched into horrible grins. They knew she didn't belong. Bola held up the charm and the spirit hissed, recalling from its power. But the largest spirit, the one that controlled the drum, stepped forward. "You cannot take her back. You cannot." It ground. "She belongs to us now." You. Bola's heart pounded, but she remembered the elder's voice. She had to break the drum to free Adunni. The drum was the source of the spirit's power. It controlled the rhythm that bound the living and the dead together. "I have to do this. I cannot let Adunni here. No, I have to do it. I won't be scared. I have come this far. Adunni is my best friend, and I need to rescue her." With a burst of courage, Bola rushed towards the drum. The spirit screamed, swirling around her like a storm. But she swung the charm with all her might and smashed it on the drum. As the drums shattered, the shadows began to dissolve, their twisted faces fading into the night. Adunni collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. The spirits were gone, and the clearing was silent once more. Bola shouted, "Adunni, Adunni, are you fine? Adunni, can you see me? Adunni, Adunni." Bola helped Adunni to her feet, and together they ran back to the village, the first light of dawn breaking through the trees. When they returned to Kumasi, the elders gathered the villagers and warned them of the dangers of curiosity. "Some boundaries are not meant to be crossed," they said, and the Festival of Shadows was one of them. Adunni learnt her lesson well. Not all mysteries are meant to be solved, and sometimes the unknown is best left undisturbed. From that day forward, the villagers honored the spirit with offerings, but they never sought to dance with them again. And every full moon, when the drum beats echoed faintly through the forest, the people of Kumasi whispered a prayer. "Let the dead dance alone. Let the dead dance alone. Let the dead dance alone." Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment that felt like you were connecting with the spirit world? Or do you have any thoughts on the idea of dancing with spirit? Drop your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this spooky journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out my next video for more fascinating stories. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep living. Mwah.